Golden Glass, a Lego Monkey Kid fanfiction written by Jukebox Straws, read by Jukebox Straws. Chapter 8, Miho. Kai went back to their apartment, looking around aimlessly. Everything was exactly the way they had left it, except for the scratch marks on the wall leading to the bedroom. Where did these come from? They ran their hand along the wall and quickly went to the small tablet in their kitchen. They had taken the liberty of updating their home security system every few years, so their cameras were up to date and not easy to spot to any intruders. They fast-forwarded the footage to 3 days ago, the day when Macaque began to change. They had a gut feeling that whatever happened in their apartment was strangely connected. Everything seemed normal. Everything was still. Then the door had opened, and Macaque walked into the space. His eyes were glowing purple. Kai raised an eyebrow. Was this what he had left so early for in the morning, when Kai couldn't find him? Macaque had begun sniffing around the apartment, looking for something, perhaps any signs of him. When he had gone into the bedroom, the blue smoke began to seep in from underneath the door. The lights flickered, and whispers could be heard. Macaque panicked, getting into a fighting stance as the smoke took the shape of Kai's ex-partner. Even through the camera, Kai shivered upon seeing him. Long black hair pulled back into a ponytail, a disgustingly handsome face hiding the monster just underneath the skin. He still looked like a king. He may have been handsome on the outside, but on the inside he was the demon he had been born as. Kai turned up the volume of the tablet to hear the audio. So, you must be the six-eared macaque. And you must be Kai's ex. I've heard a lot about you. Have you now? Good to see she's still talking about me. They, Macaque put emphasis on the pronoun, told me everything about all the shit you did to them. Now you're trying to come in and pick a fight? Fat chance. Macaque's eyes glowed brighter, and the room was engulfed in shadow. She's always been so dramatic, he said. Macaque growled. Why can't you just leave them alone? Where would the fun be in that? Macaque wasted no time in attacking the strange demon, using every power he had at his disposal to make sure that this creature never saw the light of day again. Kai couldn't see everything on the camera, but the fight lasted a decent amount of time. By the end of it, both demons were bloody and beaten, but Macaque seemed to gain the upper hand, pinning his opponent to the wall with his hands wrapped tightly around his throat. You're a better fighter than I thought. He spat blood onto the floor and grabbed Macaque's wrists as he felt the shadow demon's nails digging into his neck. This is your first and final warning, Macaque growled, narrowing his eyes. Leave Kai alone. Aw, you think you've won. Cute. But I will not be ruined by a headstrong simian! The camera began to glitch out, but Kai managed to see the symbols along the walls, the blue smoke's transformation into screaming ghosts. They heard his laughter as the spirits forced their way into Macaque's body. Kai turned off the tablet once Macaque had started to scream and claw at the walls to try and get his bearings. The shadow demon's eyes had begun glowing blue instead of purple. The copper-furred simian's eyes darted back to the claw marks all over the bedroom doorway. Oh no. Bai had gone over to Pigsy's to train with MK, so Macaque's home was quiet. Macaque, or at least the body of Macaque, was busy with the punching bag in the corner, going to town like there was no tomorrow. You said... Macaque's eyes were glowing the same violent blue, flickering dimly. You said you wouldn't hurt them! Oh, please, I wasn't hurting her. You hurt them! With my body! Macaque began to get hysterical, pressing his hands to his ears and keeling over to his knees. There were so many voices, so many whispers, he couldn't take it. He wanted to rip his ears off. His eardrums felt like they were fit to burst. He chuckled. Get out! Get out! Get out! He began to scream, pulling at his hair, slamming himself against the wall. Macaque! Kai ran in with Wukong following close behind them. Fuck, you weren't kidding! Wukong saw Macaque look up at them, teeth bared and eyes full of panic and tears. Kai, get away from me! Macaque tried to stop himself. He felt the spirit inside him, forcing him to his feet, forcing him to walk closer to his frightened partner. Wukong stood in front of Kai to protect them. "Kai, get back!" Wukong blocked Macaque's punch and grabbed his fist, trapping them both in a vicious pushing match. The fight raged on. The dojo was almost completely destroyed. Kai was forever grateful to MK for wanting Bai to come over so badly. With the power of the spirit inside him, Macaque was finally able to overpower Wukong, and he managed to pin the peach-colored monkey down and bend a steel bar around his torso, trapping him to the wall of the dojo. "Now to your real target," the spirit whispered. Macaque turned to Kai, eyes blank and blue and foreign. "Kai, run!" Wukong screamed while struggling to get out from under the bar. Kai backed up against the wall. They were frozen. They couldn't move. Their heartbeat roared in their ears as they began to breathe faster. "Macaque, please, I know you're in there, please!" Macaque's eyes flickered. His movements faltered for a moment before he pinned Kai to the wall. "Kai..." Macaque's voice was weak, struggling to hear himself over the roaring whispers in his ears. His hands wrapped around their throat. Kai grabbed his wrists as they gasped. Macaque's hands trembled as he tried to stop it, tried to ignore the spirit, tried to fight back. "I'm not giving up on you, Miho!" Kai grabbed Macaque's face, pressing their foreheads together, not caring if they couldn't breathe. "Please, come back to me. I love you." Macaque's hands trembled as he continued to put pressure on his partner's throat. Kai closed their eyes and kept their hands on Macaque's face, stroking his fur. If they were to die at the hands of their lover, then they would die. They opened their eyes when they felt the shadow monkey's rough hands cup their face, releasing his grip. The doctor tried not to make it too obvious that they were gasping. Kai looked up at him and saw his eyes, the gold seeping through the blue. He was still fighting back. Macaque began to cry as he kissed his partner gently, holding them closer with one arm while cupping their face in the other. Kissing him back, Kai wrapped their arms around his neck, gripping his scarf tightly and stroking the fur on his face. This kiss wasn't hungry or sloppy like the others had been over the last few days. This kiss was warm, gentle, tender, and soft. This was the Macaque that Kai knew, the Macaque that they had fallen in love with. When they pulled away, they saw Macaque's eyes had changed again. They were golden, no blue to be seen, bright and gold just as they should be. "Gods, I love you." Macaque laughed as Kai kissed him again. The spirit inside the shadow monkey screamed in frustration and pain as the bright golden light of the great sage reached into Macaque via his back and removed the spirit. Wukong held the spirit by his collar and growled. "So you're the ex-partner that's been causing trouble," Wukong smirked. "I'll take good care of you." The peach-colored monkey said his goodbyes to the pair before whisking away on his cloud to take care of the troublesome spirit. He had an idea in mind on how to make this a good training exercise for MK and Bai. "Fuck." Macaque cracked his back and shivered. "Ugh, I could still feel him crawling under my skin." "Macaque, I'm sorry I didn't notice sooner." Kai tackled the dark-haired simian onto the soft matting, smothering his face with kisses. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't think... Hey, it's okay. Macaque frowned. "I'm sorry I let him do those horrible things to you. With my body, no less. I'm so sorry." Macaque hugged Kai tight and rubbed the red marks on their throat gently. Kai leaned into the soothing touch. "It wasn't your fault, darling." The doctor nuzzled noses with their partner. Macaque smiled. "I am really fucking tired," he chuckled. Kai helped him to the bedroom, and they both curled up on the nest of blankets and warm clothes. "Get some rest." Kai smiled and stroked his cheek, brushing their thumb over the scar. Macaque smiled and held their hand there, pressing a kiss to their palm. It used to hurt when somebody touched that scar. It was a painful reminder. But now it was a new beginning, a new promise. A promise that the six-eared macaque can and has fallen in love again, and could perhaps heal what's been broken, with time and a little patience. Kai smiled and snuggled into their boyfriend's chest, inhaling his familiar, comforting scent, coffee, cinnamon, and the smell of rain, though his fur was not wet. This was perfect. This was what they had waited for 5 long years. "I love you, Macaque," they said. Macaque smiled and closed his eyes, ready to drift off to sleep. "I love you too, Kai." The end.